Of all the people that'll sign on YouTube before I even go live, I can't even tell what the hell that thing is. Is that a monkey or what here? Hey, welcome YouTube. We have quite a little bit of time here. Got 13 minutes if you want to scoot ahead here, but started a little bit early just in case people want to BS with me. Oh, well, what do we got today in your area if you're listening? I got 27 below right now. Pretty sure. Yep, 27 below. Thankfully, just a very light, breezy wind about 3 miles an hour from the west. Morning, Waylon Turnus. Gonna be a cold one. It is a cold one. Dakota Radio Group up and ready to go. What's it in Pierre, South Dakota? What's your temperature down yonder? Ooh, 36 below in Hazen. Is that ambient temperature? Holy moly. Karen, good morning. Snowman. Oh, chilly. You know, it's really cold is being in a front porch of a house that was built in 1919. And there's nothing but windows all around me. That's ambient temperature. Yikes. A little bit on the chilly side. Ooh. Should I set the glass of water on the windowsill and see if it ices up by the end of the radio program? You're only at -8 in Pierre? Come on. That's a bunch of bull. You are closer to the equator, though, so I'll give you that. What's it supposed to be? It's supposed to be warming up here for us, though. I believe so. My base map weather. Oh, it just dropped to 28 below. There we go. 40 below at the wind chill right now. Here's what it looks like. The latest weather update. I wish Karen 20 below in Mobridge. Okay. So let me ask you, Karen, and I'm not sure who's working on the production side down in the pier. Did you play the 40 below song this morning? I mean, it would be perfect at this point if you guys would do that. Intro me with the 40 below song and see how that works. See if we can get away with that. I could on YouTube, but I better not do that. Let's see here. I got my little heater right here. Jesse, we need to look into how, if it's on a front porch, what's the insurance liability of putting like a wood burning stove in here? If it's on the front porch, is that different? I got plenty of wood. Did you know Chris Ledoux actually has his version of the 40 below song that I like substantially better? That's queued up. I'm queued. Should get Johnny Arman on the phone. Let's see what he's got going on here. See how many times it takes to call him up here. Burr. There's a draft in the foot.
Good morning.
Mr. Arman, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Not so bad.
Cool.
Do you know the song 40 Below?
I could probably make one up about right now. It's brutal.
Yeah, Russ Hummelvig, south of here, 17 below, 10 degrees warmer than yesterday. See, it's not that way. It's the same temperature up here today than it was yesterday. I'm at 28 below right now, John. 40 below with the wind chill.
I think mine was just saying 24 below. Yeah, I know it's cold. It's to the point where I bought a propane heater and put it in my barn because I actually felt bad for my older horses were getting, well, they're starting to, like you said, I think they're feeling it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you one of those guys that puts blankets on top of your horses?
No, okay. Because I think that works against it.
That's what I heard too. They don't get a chance to grow their hair out.
Right. If you put them on now, like when it gets cold, I got some that I'd put it on for a few days. But what I did is I bought one of those torpedo diesel propane heaters and I put it on a timer. So I kick it on and off. So I don't want it to be like super warm. And it's funny, like yesterday when it was running and it was probably 13 below there on the pasture. So I just run it at night and they like it. And then I put some of those plastic things they put on freezers in front of the doorways to kind of hold the heat in, and then they walk in and out of them.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, and I'm going to redo my barn this year to make it a little better for them. And for me too. I got to cement it, and I don't have enough space, and I got good space in there, and I don't utilize it because it's just a dust bowl in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
So, but
every little thing you do just increases the value of your place down the road.
As my wife tried to tell me when she spends money on a bathroom, Scott.
Yep. It's bathrooms and kitchens, man. I'll tell you that right now is where you want to put your money in.
Well, she just redid our kitchen a couple years ago, and she did a great job. But holy crap, it's not cheap.
I got a buddy listening on YouTube right now. We're on YouTube, by the way, here, John. I should let you know that. But I got a buddy that's listening right now. They did their kitchen, I think, last year. And it started out, I think it was like, we're going to start out, it should be only this much. And then I think by the end of it, it pretty much doubled. He just texted, oh, buddy.
Yeah, no, we all cabinets, all new flooring. And then
hold on, John. You kind of broke up there a little bit on me. What'd you say?
Yeah, I'm breaking up. God dang it.
Yeah.
This service sucks. I wonder if I went to Verizon. Let me move here and see if I can get better service. I'll go upstairs.
Okay.
Started as the kitchen, and then we moved into the bathroom.
Yeah.
So it was, and the flooring and all that stuff. And I kid you not, it was about as much as I had to spend building my house back in 1989.
Yeah. And the cost of everything from here on up is going to be more and more as we keep going.
Yeah.
Jesse says my current kitchen cost us double my first house that he bought in Bowman. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, it's one thing if you take everything out and you put everything in basically the same spot. But if you're going to redo your kitchen and move things around, you're looking at, wiring. You got to redo wiring and plumbing and your heating and all that kind of stuff to kind of make it work with it. But
yeah, and I was lucky I had a buddy to help me wire, or he did most of it. It was a pain in the butt because you're coming into subfloors and had to, because she put an island in, but she did a good job. The guy that did our cabinets is a custom cabinet builder, and my wife does not do anything halfway. And
that's good.
She's got, it's like a guy going to the bowl sale. You can buy that bowl that costs you $1,000. You can buy the one that costs you $12,000. Well, let me tell you about my wife. She's got the taste, and it's like it's going to be good for down the road, and it's going to increase the house value and all that stuff. Yep. So I'm like, it's your kitchen. I'm not going to complain because I get to do a lot.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, in today's society, John, there's no $1,000 bulls anymore.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Man, the bull sales this year have just been outrageous.
Yeah. What have you heard about?
Sorry.
Yeah. What have you heard about? I've been reading stuff about Bill Gates buying farmland, and they're talking about some kind of like phony meat out there or something like that. Have you heard something about that?
So Bill Gates is he just did another purchase, which now makes him the largest farmland owner in the United States. And he is also a big advocate for the plant-based meat. And that's kind of his push. But, when people start doing the research on plant-based meat and see how many different chemicals get thrown in there to make it taste like meat, they would really be shocked at what they're putting into their body.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's these big rich people, man, they're going to be taking away a lot of the ground. Yeah. Well, you look at Montana with that. I mean, not so much the eastern side of Montana, but the central and western side. I mean, they've Californianized that one pretty hard over there. So
yeah, that's the scary thing about everything. Oh shit, we can't even get going on that. I'll be like, it's just one thing after another. All these bills coming through, and wanting to tax the flagellants of cattle. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I mean, it is. And people don't realize that how the Democrats will sneak things in the bills and try to get stuff by that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time in our later years here, John.
Yeah, like I said, I always wonder how long it will take before the average man gets pushed too far. And we need to start standing up for. I would think so, and we need to start standing up for more of our rights and complaining. And I hope that our governors and our senators start bucking the system and start, throwing out lawsuits. And, just because the federal government tells you something doesn't mean you have to abide by it if it's unconstitutional.
Yep. We have our own state constitution. Hey, John, we got 30 seconds here shortly, so I'm going to turn you down here and do my intro stuff. Just stand by here. Stations, 30 seconds on Mark. 30 seconds. Stations, 10 seconds. 10 seconds on Mark. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, and I'm broadcasting from the bunkhouse again this morning here. And according to my base map, that's right, find it, get the app. It's well worth it. It has this nice weather feature telling me I'm at 28 below here with the wind chill of 40 below at the ranch this morning. Hope all of you listening this morning, whether you're listening from your home, your office, maybe out in the tractor feeding or your pickup feeding, or maybe you're out in the calving barn. I wish you the best of luck here this cold day here for the next few days. And I want to thank you for getting up every single morning and helping feed America. Agriculture and hunting, it's what keeps the economy running in the Dakota Territory. Hey, also a big thanks for all the coal and oil industry workers. I appreciate you keeping my heat and lights on here. Before I get to John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures, I want to remind you today's show is being brought to you by a few people here. First off, Action Motorsports. They're at the sports show this weekend at the Bismarck Event Center. They're there right now, probably. Steve, Cody, Dwight, the whole crew will be there to answer any questions you have about Polaris Generals, the Rangers, Razors, Sportsman four-wheelers. Now, whether you're using it to hammer the trails in the Black Hills of South Dakota, hauling a trophy mule deer from the Badlands, or just chasing cows, or maybe like a morning like this, getting that baby calf out of the 40 below temps, Action Motorsports can help you out here. Action Motorsports is on the Strip in Mandan, or you can find them today at the Sports Show at the Event Center in Bismarck. Just tell them Scott and John sent you that way too. Hey, a new partner, I'm going to call it here. Had a few beers at the stock show with this guy. because we grew up in the same area in Raleigh. Doug Morrison from Ponderosa Screen Printing and Embroidery in Rapid City, South Dakota. He'll take care of all your embroidery or screen printing, whether it's jackets or T-shirts or sweats, caps. That's ball caps, by the way, or any promotional items you need for your business or even personal use for that matter. Doug will take care of your idea, put it down in a screen print or embroidery on pretty much any product you need. You want to put it on there. Ponderosa Screen Printing and Embroidery, Rapid City, South Dakota. If you call them up, and actually I got the number right here. That's 605-341-7198. That's 605-341-7198. If you tell them Scott Bachmeyer sent you, they'll give you 10% discount right off the top and save more with larger items. So there you go. John Arman, Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Good morning. How you doing, John?
Good morning, buddy. I'm doing well.
Hey, I tell you what, we have a lot of things going on. You know that? There's coyote tournaments still going on this weekend, and then they're getting into fishing, ice fishing tournaments, and all kinds of things.
Yeah, sport show is going on in Bismarck this weekend.
Well, isn't John and Kurt doing a big seminar telling people how to catch more walleye?
Yeah, Kurt and Jason. Yep, they are. Like I said, we usually are at that sport show, but kind of phased out of it when Kurt and Jason started going up to Winnipeg. But of course, we still can't cross the border, so they decided just to do some seminars, and I'll probably head up there and try to fill my mind full of worthless knowledge for fishing because I don't fish, but I'll enjoy the day.
There's plenty of things to look at. We just had the Agra International, and on Tuesday, Wednesday, and that event center, they empty one out and they bring everybody in for the next one. It's kind of impressive how they can move around things pretty nicely that way. So it's nice to have one of those centers in the area. There's no doubt about that.
No, it is nice. It gives a guy something to do during the wintertime, especially in these cold days like this. A guy can go walk around and think about summertime and think about springtime and get kind of fired up.
Yeah, well, I tell you what here, I'm having the YouTube people say that it's clipping a little bit, so I'll see what I can do to fix that. Thank you for letting me know about that on the YouTube side. But hey, we're listening all across the Dakota Territory. We're on KGFX in Pierce, South Dakota. John, we're on KOLY in Mobridge, K-Fire in Bismarck, Mandan, KCJB in Minot, and KLTC Dickinson, plus worldwide live streaming right now on our YouTube channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. And I wanted to bring you back here, John. You're on here today. Tell us your new adventure, or not your new adventure, but you're helping out with it with the podcast, the Ultimate Outdoor Adventures podcast.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a slow process right now. Levi Nelson, a young man, you've heard me talk about him in the past. He was, we've known Levi probably since he was 6 years old. He showed up at our sports show, and his dad is a local cowboy. He's a rancher, and he's also an artist. And Levi had a little bit of that talent that his dad had, and he had drew several pictures for us of all of us hanging on to our grip and grin, and came up and introduced himself when he was, like I said, 6 years old. Then I ended up running into him when we were doing some rodeo down at the Raleigh Rodeo Club, and he won the belt buckle that we sponsored. And I've always said Levi was kind of like that little puppy dog that you feed, and you couldn't get rid of him. And that kid has kind of just stayed along, watched our show. He's a kid that's got a gift of gab. He's not afraid to ask questions, and he has become one of my better friends. He's a young man that actually puts in an honest day's work and works hard at everything he does. And he brought this podcast to me, and I had thought about doing one several years ago, but I'm just too busy. So Levi is going to kind of be the head of the podcast. So he's getting things lined up. He's trying to get a few of them under his belt before he releases them. And I think he's planning on releasing the podcast like in March sometime, but going to try to talk to some of the guys in the industry, some of the companies we work with, just different hunters we know, talking about stories, a lot of tips, anything that people want to share, just kind of BS sessions, kind of like we do right now, just to get it out there. And I think it's just something that Levi, he always said he didn't have a very good face for TV, so he wants to do the radio side of things, but I'm going to hold him to both sides of it.
Well, podcast, do we have a date when that's going to start coming out, or is it out right now?
No, it's not. We put the trailer out there, the way we have to do it. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm thinking he said the beginning of March he was going to try to release his first ones, and then he was going to try to release it every Thursday at a certain time. I'd have to look, and I will post that.
Okay.
But like I said, I told him, I said, if you're going to do this, young man, I said, you got to do it. You got to do it well. We're putting our name behind it. And he goes, I got you covered. So he's excited about it.
Well, there's very few of us that have the face for radio. So, congratulations, Levi. we do it well. Hey, I tell you, yeah, well, that's kind of exciting. A little podcast seems like that's a kind of a huge thing anymore.
Well, and I think one of the things that's nice about it is, like, say we go on a trip, and we put our video together. You get 20 minutes of video of what that trip is like, and when you talk on a podcast, you can talk as long as you want. So if there was some excitement, or you want to just tell people how you did it, or what it all entailed, or get more in depth with it, you can just have that BS session while you're sitting around the fire drinking a beer or whatever. And I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I enjoy them. There's all kinds of information. I actually just listened to one the other day that I found very interesting. I don't know if we've talked about, Scott, in the past, about, as a filmmaker and as a TV show, I have to pay the government money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there was just a precedent that was set and I'm hoping it's going to filter over to us. But there was a lawsuit that someone filed, a photographer, against the government for First Amendment, the speech, or the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Right. And he won. And what it was is taking pictures and filming in national parks. They're saying that it's unconstitutional because the law is written so vaguely. And if people remember in the past when I talked about this, the way the law
hold
was
on,
written.
John, we're up against the break. Keep that idea, because I want to hear about this, because I know in Montana you got to pay just to film there too. So we'll be back more with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV and John Arman. We'll have, if you want to call in, 888-9-DAKOTA is the toll-free number, back after these messages. Cattle producers, here's your chance to get in on 3 top seed stock producers all in one sale. Wasam Red Angus, Havilanko Simmental, and Schriefer Red Angus are coming together Thursday, February 18th, 3 p.m. Mountain Time at the Wicks Barn, south of Richardson. Bringing top quality yearling and 2-year-old Red Angus bulls and yearling Simmental bulls. They're also offering 100 plus commercial open Red Angus replacement heifers and 8 registered bred Red Angus heifers. Join me for the Schriefer Red Angus, Wasam Red Angus, and Pavlenko Simmental joint production sale Thursday, February 18th at the Wicks Barn, south of Richardson.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
From big loans to small personal loans, you can bring your dreams into focus with Dakota Community Bank and Trust. We make getting a business or a personal loan so simple, you'll want to work with us time and time again. With competitive rates, we offer personal, ag, farm, business, and commercial loans, home loans, and more. Stop into your local Dakota Community Bank and Trust for a quality, hometown community banking experience we pride ourselves in. Equal housing lender and member FDIC.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Smith Saddle Butte Ranch invites you to their annual bull sale, Saturday, February 20th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time at the Bowman Auction Market. 40 registered yearling Angus bulls to sell, with sires like Woodhill Foresight, VAR Legend 5019, Baldridge Titan, Hoover Know-How, and Keneally Black Granite, among others. If you're looking for bulls that have great dispositions, can travel and cover females, look no further than Smith Saddle Butte Ranch. Sale day, Saturday, February 20th, 1 p.m. at the Bowman Auction Market. Quality bulls without the BS.
Piper's Auctioneers 2021 equipment auctions will bring exciting opportunities for the new year, including premier farm equipment auctions in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Bismarck, Pullman, Rain, Jamestown, Bowdoin, Steele, Marmarth, Animus, Lear, and Raleigh, North Dakota. With today's optimism in the equipment markets, it's never been a better time to turn iron into cash, and Piper's regional and online auctions can do just that. Consign your items today at 701-523-7366. All equipment inventories and auction details are updated daily at pipers.com.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. The Wassum Red Angus, Schriefer Red Angus, and the Pavlenko Simmentals invite you to their annual bull sale Thursday, February 18th, 2 p.m. Mountain Time at the Wick Sale Barn south of Richardson. 45 Red Angus bulls, 32-year-old Red Angus bulls, 15 Simmental bulls, 100-plus commercial open Red Angus replacement heifers, and 8 registered Red Angus bred heifers. For more information, go to WassumRedAngus.com. The Wassum Red Angus, Schriefer Red Angus, and Pavlenko Simmental annual bull sale Thursday, February 18th, 2 p.m. at the Wicks Barn south of Richardson.
On that road, don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Music right there from Benny Paulson. Now, some of you folks may or may not know this, but tonight is the big fundraiser night for the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. And I will be your MC for the evening. And I also want to remind you here, I know John Arman, you should make your way over to Medora tonight for the Cowboy Hall of Fame. It's going to be a good time. Auction, dance with Kyle Schob, and oh man, it's going to be a good time.
I'm sure it would be. I'd be in trouble going out that way.
You probably don't dance anymore, do you?
No, but I'd probably run into Donovan O'Brien out there, and then things would get a little bit wild.
Well, I've got to remind everybody about the DK Red Angus sale that's coming up on Saturday, March 6th at Sitting Bull Auction in Williston, North Dakota. I'll be one of the ringmen for them up there. 69 purebred Red Angus bulls, 3 Red Angus Charolais composite bulls, 4 Red and Black Angus Simmental composite bulls, 2 Black Red Gene Carrier bulls, and 45 fancy registered Red Angus yearling heifers, plus many, many more. Some other consigners coming in. The DK Red Angus sale is going to be Saturday, March 6th, Sitting Bull Auction, Williston, North Dakota. So it's my bull sale season, John, is what it is. I'm wearing on YouTube, if you see the ball cap I'm wearing, that's the Schriefer Red Angus that we got coming up on this Thursday, and Wassum sale and Pavlenko sale. And it's bull sale season for me right now. Good stuff.
Man, you got more iron. You got more irons in the fire than I do. I don't know how you keep things straight. You're going from podcast to TV to radio to stock shows to bull sales to auctions to feeding the cattle and Black Lives Matter and all that stuff.
Speaking of which, I have a new set of ball caps that I made, or I shouldn't say I made, but my friend at Ponderosa Screen Printing and Embroidery, Doug Morrison, down in Rapid City, South Dakota, at the stock show, I said, well, if you get bored, I have an idea for a ball cap, and I had my brand put on a black bull on a ball cap, and he put on there Black Lives Matter for me. So I have about 10 of those left if anybody's interested in that. You know, it's hard when you're wearing somebody else's brand. I just wanted one of them made, and he went and made me a baker's dozen out of those things.
Oh,
So,
there you go.
Yeah. Hey, we were talking about having to
Film
pay
permit.
to film. Okay. And
Yeah.
it's one thing a lot of folks don't realize. I know in Montana, if you're going to be hunting on federal ground, right, and BLM ground, you need to pay them to film. Is that right?
It is. And what it is so there's a gentleman, his name is Brian Call, and he's gritty, they call it. He does some YouTube films and has done a good job. He works with Mountain Ops and some of the companies we work with, and he had to take down a bunch of he found out, how this all works, because a lot of people don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I didn't know about it, and then someone was telling me about it. But guys like Randy Newberg and some of these guys, they're paying up to $25,000, $30,000 a year to go film on public land that they pay taxes on. And there was no way around it. I had to get permits when we went out to the National Forest. It cost me almost $1,500 for a 4-day hunt. And the permit process itself takes forever. You got to do it way in advance. It's not like you can just decide to go and then fill out some quick paperwork and get a permit. So what was happening is that when I read on this law, and I remember reading about it, it was pretty much put in place because of companies like Dances with Wolves and Star Wars, when they would come in and take over an area to do filming, and they would bring in, hundreds of people, vehicles, all this. So they would displace, whether it's cities, towns, disturb the natural resources. So they'd have to bring in people to do studies beforehand, all this stuff, to make sure they're not doing too much damage, all this stuff. And this judge finally said, this is wrong, that you're charging people across the board. It's too wide of a path. It's got to be narrow. There's got to be something for the smaller guy. Not, this was built on something that is just kind of a blanket statement. So they said, I don't know legal terms, but it cannot go the other way until someone, the National Forest or whoever, the federal government, makes new laws and brings it in. So right now it's on like the state parks and stuff. It hasn't said anything about the grasslands and everything, but we as filmmakers, we're all thinking this is the same thing. And this Brian Call even said that, instead of spending $20,000 in permits, he may spend $20,000 with lawyers and, try to get this, the same thing to happen with filming on government land. And that's a hard thing. We're not saying there shouldn't be any permit process, that you shouldn't have to, to go through something so it's regulated. But with the government, how it goes is that there's already regulations in place for us. So for Kurt and I and Jason to go hunting in the mountains, we have to follow all the laws that everybody else does. And just because we carry a camera, we shouldn't have to pay, an exorbitant amount of money just to film when it's our freedom of speech to show what we're doing and things like that. And then, some people say, well, you're making money off the land. You got to be careful about that. So when you go shoot a deer or do something, to ride your horse or do anything, they can start charging. Think about it. You're taking resources off by hunting. It's a fine line on how things go with the government and taking money and charging people for something. And they have some things written now that for guys, say 5 people or less, you pay $250 a year, which would be more than sufficient. I mean, it's like,
it's not like
we're not changing.
You're not trying to do it all for free. You're okay paying a minimal fee, but not like super absorbent crazy fees. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's one of those deals. Why do you have to pay when I'm already paying taxes to use that federal ground? What's the difference between me going and filming and you going and riding horses, back there? So there's 2 of us that hunt. Well, what if 10 people go hike? Well, those 10 people hiking are making more of an impact than 2 guys hunting and filming. But again, it's just the way the government works. And, we have laws that are in place that have been in place forever, and things need to be changed a little bit. But again, it's nice for a guy like me because we can't afford to go film on national grasslands or, the only place we can go is private land, which is fine with us, but it's nice to be able to utilize the public ground too.
I wonder how soon that's going to be implemented here in the Dakota Territory between, we have a lot of Forest Service ground and BLM ground between the western side of both North and South Dakota. I wonder when that's going to be starting to be implemented.
It's one of those deals.
See an opportunity to make money, right? I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, there you go.
Well, and that's it. And what the world has changed because of bloggers and a lot of these people the people that got in trouble were people just going across the country, blogging, using their phones and things like that. But as soon as you put it on YouTube, and it's funny, if you monetize it, that means you're getting paid for it. But even if you don't monetize it, like Brian Call right now, because of his popularity, he can't put anything he's done, no matter what he puts on there, he's going to be making money somehow from it because it's going to push people to other places. And he did everything. He even talked to the agencies, said, what do I need to do so I can do this? And they told him what to do, and he did it. And it's still, they told him, you got to pay this fine and you got to take all your stuff down. So it's crazy because there's 100,000 people doing the same thing he's doing, but because he's high profile, he's getting nailed for it. The other people aren't getting nailed for it. So again, it's one of those things that we have to revamp, and less is more. Less government is more.
Wouldn't that be nice? What a concept, John.
Yeah.
What a concept. Well, it's just more and more of what you're seeing anymore is the government getting their hands involved in land and trying to, instead of managing the wildlife, they're managing the people and the acres here. So, but we're up against our next break here, John. So, hey, we're going to open up the phone lines for the second half here, 888-932-5682. If you want to call in and talk to John and myself with anything. I mean, you want to talk a little bit of even Valentine's Day ideas, John. How about that? We can help you out. I guarantee that. So we'll have more coming up. The Love Connection with John Arman is coming up your way. We'll have more on the way. Just a reminder, DK Red Angus Bull Sale coming up Saturday, March 6th, Sitting Bull Auction in Williston, North Dakota. I'll be there along with everybody else here with 69 purebred Red Angus Bulls, plus a whole bunch more. Keep it tuned to Dakota Prairie Outdoors on my daily show for more information. Get this free 600-mile bull delivery. Yeah, that's huge. DK Red Angus. March 6th is the time, along with other sales coming up. Cattle producers, here's your chance to get in on 3 top seed stock producers all in one sale. Wasam Red Angus, Havilanko Semitol, and Schriefer Red Angus are coming together Thursday, February 18th, 3 p.m. Mountain Time at the Wicks Barn, south of Richardson. Bringing top quality yearling and 2-year-old Red Angus bulls and yearling Semitol bulls. They're also offering 100 plus commercial open Red Angus replacement heifers and 8 registered bred Red Angus heifers. Join me for the Schriefer Red Angus, Wasam Red Angus, and Pavlenko Semitol joint production sale Thursday, February 18th at the Wicks Barn, south of Richardson.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
From big loans to small personal loans, you can bring your dreams into focus with Dakota Community Bank and Trust. We make getting a business or a personal loan so simple, you'll want to work with us time and time again. With competitive rates, we offer personal, ag, farm, business, and commercial loans, home loans, and more. Stop into your local Dakota Community Bank and Trust for a quality, hometown, community banking experience we pride ourselves in. Equal housing lender and member FDIC.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Smith Saddle Butte Ranch invites you to their annual bull sale, Saturday, February 20th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time at the Bowman Auction Market. 40 registered yearling Angus bulls to sell with sires like Woodhill Foresight, VAR Legend 5019, Baldridge Titan, Hoover Know-How, and Keneally Black Granite, among others. If you're looking for bulls that have great dispositions, can travel and cover females, look no further than Smith Saddle Butte Ranch. Sale day, Saturday, February 20th, 1 p.m. at the Bowman Auction Market. Quality bulls without the BS.
Piper's Auctioneers 2021 equipment auctions will bring exciting opportunities for the new year, including premier farm equipment auctions in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Bismarck, Bowman, Rain, Jamestown, Bowdoin, Steele, Marmarth, Animus, Lear, and Raleigh, North Dakota. With today's optimism in the equipment markets, it's never been a better time to turn iron into cash, and Piper's regional and online auctions can do just that. Consign your items today at 701-523-7366. All equipment inventories and auction details are updated daily at pipers.com.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. The Wassum Red Angus, Schriefer Red Angus, and the Pavlenko Simmentals invite you to their annual bull sale Thursday, February 18th, 2 p.m. Mountain Time at the Wick Sale Barn south of Richardson. 45 Red Angus bulls, 32-year-old Red Angus bulls, 15 Simmental bulls, 100-plus commercial open Red Angus replacement heifers, and 8 registered Red Angus bred heifers. For more information, go to WassumRedAngus.com. The Wassum Red Angus, Schriefer Red Angus, and Pavlenko Simmental annual bull sale Thursday, February 18th, 2 p.m. at the Wicks Barn south of Richardson.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down, and when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Saturday edition, Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Good to have you along here this morning. If I see you in Medora tonight, I'll buy you a drink. How's that sound? As long as it's at the auction, right before the auction. That's the only time I'll do that. Hey, let's see here. John Arman. Hold on, John.
Open?
What's that?
Is it an open bar?
No, it's not. Good call, though. That's good. Yeah. No, Action Motorsports at the sports show this weekend here, John. I tell you what, I was there during the Agri International, got a chance to talk to Steve a little bit, and all right. I'll take care of the messages first. Darren Munn says BLM land. Is that Black Lives Matter land? No, it stands for Bureau of Land Management. 2 different BLMs, and including mine is 3. Riley, yes, your ads. I decided not to play the one that he was going to do on YouTube because I did get pushed off of YouTube for some ads that I tried to do before, and I didn't want to have that happen to you as well. So there's that. Now, before we go any further, Action Motorsports, good sponsor of mine, good sponsor of yours, John. And I sat and talked with Steve, and we're looking at the 2021 Rangers, and he had one. I mean, they're bigger, wider, better, and more powerful than they've ever been. I have a 2016, and it's just not even a comparison anymore, is it?
No, it's amazing. Like I said, we've been with them for a long time, and I can remember when I had a 500 and I was thinking, oh, this is plenty of power. And then you moved up to the 900 and you're like, holy crap. Now we're at the 1,000 and it's like, yeah, my gosh, they are, the power they have and the torque and stuff like going up hills. It is absolutely amazing where you can go with those things.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, stop in today at the sports show in Bismarck at the event center and tell them Scott and John sent you. Text message came in, John. We were talking about monetary and hunting and all the good stuff. Text message came in and said, Scott, if you're gaining monetarily from filming on public ground, shouldn't you have to pay somewhat of a fee, regardless if you're Brian Call, UOA, John Doe, or whoever? Sure, we pay taxes. Hell, in Wyoming, I can't step foot in the wilderness area to hunt without a guide, but I can fish all I want on my own. That's state laws. Your comments on that?
Right. Well, and again, like I said, it's not about getting rid of the fees or the permit process, because I'm for that. You have to regulate certain things. Otherwise, and Brian Call had someone on there that was a national photographer, and he talks about someone taking a picture up in Glacier somewhere, and it was such an amazing picture that pretty soon there were thousands and thousands of these photographers coming up there, and they pretty much wrecked the area where they ended up shutting it down. So, you do have to be careful when you're putting pictures out and filming to not show where you're exactly at. But as far as the money goes, it's not about, it's just so that it's kind of like if this gentleman was talking about is that his taxes are based on his land or his income, not on some other guy that makes $1 billion. And with this film permit, a small guy like us is paying the same as what a national production company coming in would have to pay. They kind of go, it's just a blanket statement, and we're just looking at, we're not making any kind of an impact, and that's what it's about, is if you're impacting the land. And, so it's just that fine line of having to pay thousands of dollars.
You're basically paying the same amount as somebody coming in and filming like a Yellowstone movie or a Deadwood movie or something like that. Yeah.
Right. They're paying per day, again, they're going to end up paying more because they're bigger, and their impact is more, but we have to pay. I have to have a setup fee, and then I pay like $150 to $200 per day. And every piece of land you film on, national forest land, you need a permit. If Bureau of Reclamation land, you need a permit. State land, you need a permit. So there's 3 different permits, 3 different fees, 3 different setup things. So it's just kind of out of control. We've just stayed out of it,
He brought something in that text message. He did bring something up that you don't realize. Some places where you go to, you are required to have a guide, and you have to pay that guide in order to take you on certain property in certain states. And even in North Dakota, I think on the reservation, don't you have to pay for a guide?
No, you don't.
Okay.
But, no, but like say Alaska, Canada, even though Canada's, not part of the United States, but again, there's places that you have to do. And that's there's a law going through right now in Montana that a lot of people are complaining about allocating more tags to that guide and outfitter. So there's some places that have, regulations where you have to have a guide or have someone to take you into certain areas. So, again, it's all, if everybody used common sense, we wouldn't have all these regulations, but again, you have to.
Yeah. Well, the phone number is 888-932-5682. That's 888-932-5682. It's a toll-free number if anybody wants to warm their hands up and dial in and ask John any questions and comments, concerns about any of what we're talking about. But food plots, John, I mean, you got to be thinking about putting food plots in this spring yet, and cross our fingers we get some moisture out there. But are you sticking with the tried and true beans and corn, or what's going to happen this year?
Yeah, it's kind of the same old. I have some different ideas. I got some, when my brain starts working, I'm going to do some fencing to make some things, some travel corridors, maybe cutting some trails, things like that. But again, the as-grown beans that we've been putting in the ground have just been phenomenal. Mm-hmm. This year, we got frost right away, which turned everything brown, but the deer still continue to hit those beans. And, the last time I was down there, we still had beans standing and the deer were still in the soybeans. They seem like they kind of go back and forth. They'll go into the corn every once in a while, but they seem like they prefer the beans. And I think it's because, again, their body tells them it's higher in protein.
Yeah.
Corn is kind of a hot feed where, it helps them, but it's not as good for them as beans are. And those animals kind of know. And again, the other thing is that the amount of browse that we have on our place because of slash grazing, rotating pastures, taking care of our land the way you're supposed to as a rancher, instead of just burning things off and leaving your cows on. Any good rancher knows they rotate, the cold grasses, warm grasses, that kind of thing. And it leaves a lot of browse for these deer. So they need that natural browse. That's what they need in their body. They need to digest all that stuff. And it's fun to watch those deer as they go through the pastures on everything they eat. I mean, they're going and nipping at this, nipping at that. The bullberries this year were plentiful. There saw a lot of them eating those. The mule deer eating the sage and the different grasses. So, it's just kind of an overall plan, just try to make things better for the wildlife, and it kind of benefits us, but it also definitely benefits everybody around us.
Now, locally, our local NRCS is offering a cover crop mix up to 160 acres of kind of a cost share type of deal. And there's a lot of farmers / ranchers that are around this area want to get into cover crops, but it's a little bit more expensive. But my neighbor put in some turnips and radishes, and I can't remember what a couple other things years ago to try to get his soil conditioned up a little bit better. And I will tell you this, John, I've never seen so many mule deer, elk, and white-tailed deer just going crazy over turnips and radishes. Have you ever tried those?
Yes, and we put them in every year. As a matter of
You
fact, the gentleman from New Salem just asked me, how do I attract mule deer? And I told him, I said, you're gonna be surprised that mule deer, they love soybeans, but they don't eat them when they're green. They don't come in and graze on them. But when it's cold, and they've later in the season, they hammer soybeans. They also love turnips and radishes. We've got video of some of the mule deer. It seems like they're standing guard on the field and they're pushing the whitetail off. But and the great thing about turnips is that they grow easy. They're almost like a weed. The only thing I tell people, the tough thing, putting in cover crops in North Dakota, depending where you're at, is that when you take that, that green, a lot of them is they're taking off their wheat or their early season stuff, that getting it in the ground as soon as you can, because you just need that. If you get one good shot or two shots of rain, they do well. But in North Dakota, one of the reasons I'll plant my cover crops probably earlier than most people would recommend, just because it's always that fear of not getting the rain, because we don't always get the rain in July and August.
I don't think we had any rain in July and August last year.
No, and I did.
Neck of the woods.
No.
Yeah.
I had to replant mine twice here in Bismarck. I put in a little spot, and it was crazy. I put in maybe an acre, and the turnips and things maybe were the size of a golf ball if you were lucky. They barely grew, but it held probably, there were 30, 40 deer on there at times, just eating everything up. As soon as frost hits, it turns everything to sugar, it seems like, and they eat the tops. They'll nibble on the tops when they're green, but once it freezes is when they smoke them off, and they start eating on those turnips, and they just keep gnawing at them, and you got little saucers all over your ground. It's kind of funny looking, but they really do like them, and it's good for your soil, and that's why we plant them.
Yeah, those cover crops has definitely made a kind of a big splash if a guy can get in on those, even with the cattle too. I mean, that's a good late grazing, good stuff for them. Now,
well, yeah,
the cost of that's the hard thing to swallow sometimes, is the cost of the cover crop seed. The thing that you're getting away from, though, is you shouldn't have to spray much, because in that cover crop, there's usually a lot of broadleafs that they mix in with that.
Right. And, one of the things that I've noticed about cover crops, some of the ranchers here east of town, is kind of who turned me on to it. They turn their cows out there, and the cows have done pretty well on that. They'll graze on, there's millet, there's peas in there, there's a little bit of everything. And, for a guy, if you're just wanting to hunt, turnips are pretty cheap. You can go buy a 50-pound bag of turnips, and those turnips go a long ways. It's kind of like alfalfa seed. So the biggest thing, the mistake I've made is overseeding them. So you could take that, say you have some land that you got a guy that rents from you or whatever, you could, if you talk to him and say, hey, can I just go in when you're done, spraying, and you've cut it off or whatever, and just go in and broadcast with a little spin spreader, say in a cornfield or in a bean field or whatever, you could go in there and just walk and spread that. And if you get a rain, it will push those seeds in the ground enough to grow. And as another thing is, you can just dig that, spray that ground, dig it up lightly, and you can broadcast them in there. And again, you get one good rain, and it's going to push those seeds down in the ground, and they're going to grow. And like I said, to me, it's one of the simplest and nicest food plots that are out there. That they produce a lot of tonnage too.
Yeah. How about mineral packages? You're talking about trying to get mule deer on certain things, and I kind of came across a mineral mix that I use for mule deer, and it works really well. If I put a camera across or on top of it, there's a lot of mule deer that come into it. And it seems like they really hit that. Now, whitetail are a little bit more, I'd say, easy to pattern when it comes to those mineral blocks. And what have you guys been using for a mineral side of things? And have you seen it actually helping increase the size of those antlers?
I have, again, I guess I haven't done a scientific study, but when we started back probably 15 years ago, putting mineral on, and trying to find mineral that's good. There's a lot of minerals out there that are, a lot of salt, and they're just more of an attractant. But if you get good quality mineral, and you know what it's like being in the cattle industry, good mineral does, well for you.
And
you just put a bunch of salt
and you pay for it too. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's not cheap, but what I've seen on our deer, just body size, mass on antlers, overall just look healthy. It's kind of like us taking vitamins and things like that. Again, if you got good ground, places out east and things like that may have better soil than we do, but my deer love it. I mean, I can get every picture on those mineral licks, and then I put out the Big and J blocks. And it seems like it does. The mule deer, again, will hit them, and they hit the mineral, but they don't hit them like whitetail. Whitetail are pretty much clockwork when their antlers are growing. Mule deer will come through there, probably once a week type deal and hit the mineral. But, again, I've had really good luck with Big and J. They make some supplemental feed that I mix with other things and try to, especially early in the springtime when the fawns are going to start hitting the ground, and this time of year when it's cold and there's not a lot of browse out there left, try to get things going, minerals just to help them out. And I know that there's guys that will say, well, our Game and Fish talks about CWD and you shouldn't feed deer and things like that. And again, it's all your personal belief and what you want to do, but I'm the guy that I like to help them along, and they're already a social animal. The odds of them getting, CWD by a block or by a mineral lick to me is minimal compared to, what they do in their daily life and that kind of thing. So again, I'm not a scientist, but I kind of do what I think is right.
So a text comes in and says, have you guys ever used Sanfroin? And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that yet, or John.
I want to say my neighbors put it in. Isn't that more of a hay?
Yeah, it's a forage, and so I know two people that have tried it. One in the central part of the state, and one here. My neighbor actually over here tried to put it in, and if you get a good catch, it does pretty well. It has not taken off in my area here as well because you need that good first moisture to really get it to stable, get it to mature in there. But if you can get a good catch, I think it does really, really well, and it's a really high protein. And I just haven't had good luck with it, or neither have the neighbors that have tried it so far. He says that a rancher friend out west uses it and he loves it, so he must have got a good catch with it.
Well, I think a guy here, I think one of my neighbors put it in because I thought it was, when it was coming up, I thought it's like, God, that looks like alfalfa, but it's not alfalfa.
Right.
And the only thing I noticed is I didn't see a deer on that field. So I didn't, if that was what it was, and again, sometimes deer need a year, but when they kicked it back into alfalfa, there's a ton of deer on there. So I don't know if deer have got a palate for it right now, or if it, I've heard of it, and I don't know how well it does with animals.
There's some places in Montana that have it. I mean, that stuff is just thicker than. I mean, if, as a rancher looking at it, it would be awesome if I could have a field that looked like that. But I think it's a little bit more drought resistance once it catches in there. But, well, I tell you what, coming up to the end of the program here, John, besides the radio podcast of Ultimate Outdoors that is in the future, it's coming your way. What else you got going on? Anything on your bucket list hunt this year, that something different? I told you that I'm going to go back down to South Dakota and do my antelope down that way, because I got a couple good friends down there that have just a ton of them, and that's my.
Wasn't I coming along on that hunt?
Well, I think you should. I really do. Yeah,
I'd love to. One of those deals that I told Kurt we're going to try to do is more, 3-4 day hunts, and maybe get the wall tent out and just enjoy it. The older I get, the more I enjoy sleeping on a cot, getting out there, not going to a hotel, just hanging out, having a little campfire and that kind of thing. So. Mm-hmm. And then going into the small town and having a burger and a beer at the local cafe I love that.
That's where you have to understand that in areas in Western, North, and South Dakota, I don't care, any place, these small towns thrive on the hunting side of things, and that's where they make a lot of their money.
Oh, they do. And again, I'd be the guy, they have that burgers and dives or whatever, the guy travels all over. I travel around all of the little Western towns and during hunting season and going into the bars and having burgers. I love it.
Maybe that's what I should do.
Have hanging on the wall.
Dakota Prairie Outdoors, hunting, dives, and diners.
There you go. I'm telling you, like I said, and you meet a lot of great, great people, and we've met people that have invited us hunting, and just super people in those small communities.
Here's the problem. I got to get at least 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel so I can do it via remote or mobile, as they say. Otherwise I have to log into their internet all the time. That's the issue with that whole thing. Well, John, I appreciate you coming on the radio, my friend, and thanks for taking a little bit of time out of your Saturday.
Thank you, buddy, and you have a great day and stay warm.
All right, you too. Farewell, my friend.
All right, buddy. Take care.
You bet. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. If you want more information, just search them on any social media platform and you'll be able to find that, and their videos too. You bet. Hey, the DK Red Angus sale coming up on Saturday, March 6th. That's going to be at the Sitting Bull Auction, Williston, North Dakota. I'll be there as well. Coming up next Thursday, or this coming Thursday, is the Wassum Red Angus, Pavlenko Simmental, and Schriefer Red Angus sale. I'll be there as well at the Wicks Barn south of Richardson, North Dakota. And then the Smith Saddle Butte Ranch. That's going to be in Bowman, North Dakota. And that's going to be February 20th, next Saturday. Hey, have yourself a great weekend. Drink some milk, eat some meat, support the agricultural side. All right, stations, thank you. John, you still there?
I'm still here.
Now we can do the after hour YouTube.
There you go.
I'm procrastinating going out and feeding cows, but I should probably get rolling here pretty quick. I got to run to Medora and help them out too.
Yeah, I got to get out and feed too.
Get everything set up.
Mine isn't quite as intense as yours. Mine takes me about 15 minutes, but make sure that the tank is open. I put in a heat bulb, and that's been good. So it seems like she's staying open.
Thank God I have artesian water tank in my winter pasture. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That thing stays completely open year round, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's brutal. Like I said, cold weather is one thing, but people are freaking 20 below. It's like I said, it don't take much to stand out there, and it goes right through your bones. Yeah. And if that wind, I went out the other day and I'm like, oh, it's not bad. Frick, got around the corner of the house and the wind hit me, and I was like, it's like, oh. And I didn't have any ear flappers, and I just had the lid on, and I'm like, okay, I should have had a different hat on.
Yeah, I get bundled up here. It takes 30 minutes. I stick the NIPCO heater on my bale bed on my pickup. I don't have a heated shop, which I really, really wish I would. That would make life a lot easier, but stick the NIPCO on that baby and let the hydraulics get a little bit warmed up so I can go feed. Hey, we have a caller. Look at there. Is this Jesse?
Oh, yeah.
Well, John and I are still bullshitting.
I tell you what.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
It is. I can't wait till Wednesday when we can get back to a little bit of normalcy around here. Good Lord. This has been a heck of a stretch, guys.
Hey, you're a big coyote hunter. You should be out there laying in your freaking browns or whites and just waiting for those hungry coyotes to come in.
I'm telling you, John.
I tell you what.
That one tournament Jesse and I did, it was a Mandan tournament.
Yeah.
Ambient temperature was 32 below, and it was the best calling I've ever done. Coyotes.
And unlike today, I bet it was blowing about 25 mile an hour that time too, and it was bad.
It was bad.
I had number one fuel in my diesel pickup, and we gelled it up, and we had to come back to the house and get Scott's pickup.
Oh my gosh!
And we never shut my pickup off one time. We just locked the doors and went calling and came back.
Yeah, it's brutal. There's no question. Like I said, it's this is the kind of temperatures I really do hope for when it's December, at the end of December deer hunting, because those deer have to move. But you can't be in a tree stand. You got to be in somewhat of a blind with a heater, otherwise you do not last at all.
Yeah, we didn't have that this year. This is the widest open December. I usually love bow hunting in December, and I had no luck whatsoever because no snow.
No, and that's the way we were. We were lucky we had our tags filmed.
Yeah.
So anyway,
John? Have you got your North Dakota elk already?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Well, tell those other Hanyakers to put in.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm hoping to get that moose tag, but that's the one I'd have traded the moose for the elk. But it's just hard, and I know Kurt and Jason would be different than I would, because I think Kurt would put in his whole year to shoot a big one, and I was the guy that I just couldn't see taking 3 weeks, 4 weeks out of my season and dragging everybody with me to go kill a big elk when I'd killed a big one. And man, like I said, I just wanted to kill another one, and we had fun doing it. So,
Wow.
So you would rather hunt moose than elk, John?
For North Dakota, again, it was one of those deals that I just knew that with a moose, hunting them with your bow, which I love to do, is you got a really good chance of killing a good bull. And, you can go elk hunting. Moose hunting is a little harder and a little more expensive, it seems like, than elk hunting. So it's kind of, to me, more of a coveted tag, just because if you get a moose tag in North Dakota, you should kill a good moose if you know anybody, because they're pretty good about letting you hunt. Where with the elk, the ranchers, a little bit tougher because they get, gratis tags and things like that. So it's a little harder to get on some of those elk. But again, I think it was just more for the fact that I had killed an elk already, a big, 350-inch bull. So I was like, okay, now I want to go to a moose. But I take any of them. Moose or elk hunting is definitely more exciting, I would think. But I've never hunted moose during the rut when you got an animal that big coming in, tipping their antlers, coming at you.
Yeah, I think moose can get a little bit more aggressive. I think that would be more exciting.
Yeah, it'd be. Like I said, I'll do anything.
I think part of the reason them moose are more aggressive is because they can't see anything. I think they just wreck anything that makes them mad because they can't hardly see.
Yeah,
like, that's what that doesn't smell like a moose or act like a moose. I'm going to wreck it because I'm pretty sure I'm bigger.
Maybe they have a little bit of that Woodbury blood from Carson in them.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, I like that one.
Just want to wreck something.
I can't see anymore, but I can smell something. I'm going to wreck it. I've seen that before.
Oh,
well, boys, I'm gonna get rocking. I gotta get into the gym. I gotta go meet somebody for lunch and gotta get that animal fed. I'm gonna do some things. But thank you once again, Scott.
Yeah, I appreciate it, John. I appreciate it. You bet.
And you'll be one of our first guests on our Get Levi doing that podcast. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, I'm a little leery about it. He's gung ho, but finding out that it's not as easy to do. He goes, I'm going to have to wait because I got to work. And I'm like, yeah, that don't work that way. I said,
yep.
You got to work and you got to do it,
It's
so we'll
here's you were talking, John, about I got my irons in the fire. Here's the thing that you guys just got to do, and he's got to learn this too, is you have to have a disciplined schedule that you stick with. and you have to give up a lot of things. And I mean, a lot of shit for me. I can't stay out late Friday nights. It's now with the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report, almost every night, I have to be in my studio, at least by 7-8 o'clock in order to get shit done halfway's decent. And, it takes you away from going out and partying and doing all that kind of things, or even hunting sometimes. So he's got to know that,
And I told him that, because I said, you just don't realize. I said, when everybody sees our show and thinks I get everything free, they don't see me out in my shop every night, doing something. And that's what you have to do. And if I'm not disciplined during the summertime even, and get ahead of the game when it comes to fall, I will be screwed. And then I have to give up hunting. And I even told them, about.
Go ahead.
And the people that you're trying to interview, if they're also hunters, that's tough because I've been trying to get Michelle Bachman on my show, and a South Dakota girl on a South Dakota radio program. No way in hell that ever happens, because she makes money by going out and hunting every damn day, so that's what she does.
No. And
the other thing that I've seen with some other